This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Chamber. Did you know that you can watch the Senate live on YouTube? Visit the channel by browsing to youtube.com/@Senate of Virginia. That's youtube.com/@Senate of Virginia. Senate Chamber. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Chamber. Did you know that you can watch the Senate live on YouTube? Visit the channel by browsing to youtube.com/@Senate of Virginia. That's youtube.com/@Senate of Virginia. Senate Chamber. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Chamber.
The Senate will come to order. The senators will take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor will please retire to the gallery. Good morning, senators. Good morning, guests. The senators and those in attendance, if you are able, please rise. We will be led in prayer this morning by the Reverend Stephen Starzer of Fairfield Presbyterian Church in Mechanicsville. Following the prayer, if everyone will please remain standing, and we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by our Senate page, Reagan McDougall of Hanover.
Thanks for not booing me. Let us give thanks to God. Almighty God, creator of us all, we live under the banner of Sic Semper Tyrannis, our declaration that no one should look down on another person as someone of lesser value. We recognize the fact that we are all created equal and no one is greater than another. We value each person. We value each life. As Americans, and particularly as Virginians, remind us this day that in equality, we need to see each other as people, not as a category, not as a group. By your love and grace, bring us together when we are tempted to divide. Help us to keep in mind that we live in a commonwealth. Let that designation be a declaration to our God-given responsibility to care for one another. Help those who are gathered in this august body to recognize that the differences that seem so great pale in comparison with our common love for freedom, democracy, and the well-being of all the people of this great Commonwealth. Help us all to see that while we may be divided as to the chosen pathways to solutions, we are yet united in the love for the people of our Commonwealth and of our great nation. Remind us that you are the only one with all of the right answers. Remind us that we need each other in order to form a more perfect union and a more perfect Commonwealth. I pray all this in the name of the one without whom nothing has been made. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll. All those present, please vote aye. The clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Madam President.
Sergeant at Arms,
A message from the House.
please receive it.
The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Maldonado. Thank you, Madam President. I've been directed by the Speaker of the House to inform the Senate that pursuant to Rule 14 of HJR 430, the House of Delegates has suspended the special and continuing joint order relating to judicial elections until Wednesday, February 19th, 2025, at the conclusion of the morning hour. Thank you, Madam President.
We thank the delegate. Madam Clerk.
Senate Journal for Wednesday, February the 12th, 2025.
The senator from Hanover, Senator McDougall, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All in favor of the waiving the reading of the journal will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 34, noes 5.
Ayes 34, noes 5. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the House of Delegates. Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Surville.
Good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon.
Madam President, I move to waive reading of the communication of the House of Delegates.
The question is, shall the reading of the communication from the House of Delegates be waived? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 35, noes 5.
Ayes 35, noes 5. The reading of the communication from the House of Delegates is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the governor.
We do not have any, Madam President.
We have arrived at the time in our morning hour, and this will be when we discover who all of you beautiful people are in the gallery. And the normal procedure is that your senator will rise and tell us who you are. And if you hear your name or your organization called, please rise at that time so we will see you. But if you will hold your applause until after I welcome you, then we'll applaud you together. And so I do call on the senator from Hanover, Senator McDougall.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for a couple introductions.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, if you would offer the warm welcome and thanks of the Senate to Reverend Stephen Starzer from Fairfield Presbyterian in Mechanicsville, who gave our opening today. Stephen has been a longtime friend of the Senate, and many of you probably remember his son Chad, who's joining him as well. Chad spent a lot of time trying to keep us in line when he was working in the clerk's office. Madam President, thank him and for his words of wisdom, reminding us that no matter what station or place you come from, that you are loved by Christ.
Well, amen to that. Thank you, Reverend Starzer, for coming, and thank you again for your prayer, and thank you for always being at the ready to help us, and thank you for what you do as you serve those in your community. Senators, let us give him the warm welcome of his Senate. Again, Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for an additional introduction.
The senator may continue.
Madam President, we also have in the gallery a group of students from the College of William & Mary. I don't know if President Rowe has made it down from the more numerous body, but this group of students attends, as y'all might be aware, an institution that is turning 332 years old. 332 years. Pretty ancient, as my daughter might be fond of saying. For the last 22 years, recent history, William & Mary students have been visiting the Capitol on the Road to Richmond program. Madam President, this allows them to meet with members of the General Assembly, Cabinet, Executive Branch, do mansion tours, and even have panels with lobbyists who were William & Mary alumni. A valuable learning experience for them all. And Madam President, I am sure that as they have many of their meetings, they're reminding everybody that Thomas Jefferson attended William & Mary. He created the other place for everybody else. Madam President, if you would, in addition to offering them the warm welcome to the Senate, remind all the members that they should join this group of students and myself as a law school alumnus at the William & Mary reception tonight at the Library of Virginia.
Good afternoon, students. You see that we are here diligently doing the business of the Commonwealth, and these are the institutions that one day you will have in front of you. You will be serving in these bodies wherever you are, maybe this one, maybe elsewhere. But of course, it's good that you come and see what it's all about and that you begin to learn it so that, well, you'll be ready. We're so glad to see you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Aird, the senator from Eastern Enrico.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, it is with great excitement and pride that I introduce to you today a group of remarkable young men who not only strive for excellence in the classroom but also on the field, the junior varsity football team from Petersburg High School. And I would ask that they please stand. Madam President, the dedication of these undefeated junior varsity football players balancing academics and athletics is clear in their presence at the Capitol. The Crimson Tide JV football team has participated in a phenomenal undefeated season, going 10-0 with their largest win carrying a lead of more than 40 points. Madam President, the offense averaged an astounding 34 points a game, while their defense only allowed an average of 7 points a game. These results show the hard work, dedication, and perseverance paying off during game time. This team demonstrates an exemplary union of teamwork, discipline, and resilience, all of which I am confident will shape their future contributions to the Commonwealth. So, Madam President and members of the Senate, I'd ask that you join me in giving them the warm welcome of their Senate.
Well, good afternoon, students. We're so glad that you are here and that you are undefeated. And it is my hope that as you, well, you're not going to always be undefeated, but you will remember the good times and you will say to yourself, I will get back there again, because that's how life is. It's never always up, up, up. Sometimes you have your valley moments, and I think it's in the valleys that you truly learn. But here you are, undefeated and how glorious that is. Keep it up. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Williams Graves, the senator from Norfolk.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, I have several constituents from my hometown, the city of Norfolk. Y'all stand. And the city of Norfolk is represented by myself and Senator Bill DeSteph. They are here participating in the do-over of our second Norfolk Day at the Capitol, which was rescheduled due to snow. This is a bipartisan effort that I've led in conjunction with my Norfolk counterparts in the House to invite members of our city to the Capitol. They are here today to meet with representatives on both sides of the aisle in the House and in the Senate and to see the legislative process firsthand. I believe almost all of them are first-time visitors. I know one young lady's been here before to our Capitol. Mother Nature is still a little uncooperative, but I am grateful that they were able to make the journey to Richmond. Madam President and members of the Senate, please join me in giving them the warm welcome of their Senate.
Thank you for coming. There was a time when you all were my constituents, but of course you still are. And I am so glad that you are here and so glad that you are visiting both sides of the aisle so that we will know exactly what it is that's on your mind and how you feel about the issues. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Perry, the senior senator from Loudoun.
Good afternoon, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for the purposes of an introduction.
Good afternoon. The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, today in the gallery, we are joined by my intern, Teddy Geis. Teddy lives in Fairfax County and is a recognizable face to many of us in the Northern Virginia delegation, but currently resides in Williamsburg and is a senior at the College of William and Mary studying government. At William and Mary, Teddy is on the Dean's Council and serves as an admissions tour guide. He's also a member of the club tennis team and a Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity brother. He will continue his studies at William & Mary next year in their Masters of Accounting program while working towards a career in public sector consulting. He previously worked as an intern for the SEC and for Delegate Simons in the House, but we are glad he found his way to my office in the Senate. He's been a great addition to our team this session, and we are lucky to have him. Since today is William & Mary Day at the Capitol, I wanted to recognize Teddy as a proud member of the William & Mary tribe, and I ask that I'll give him the warm welcome of the Senate.
Well, hello, Teddy. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the help that you give the senator. You are studying government, and next you shall study accounting. I hope those two go together. We're so glad to see you. Senators, let us give him the warm welcome of his Senate. Senator Pekarsky, the senator from Western Fairfax.
Good afternoon, Madam President.
Good
I
afternoon.
have an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today, I'm happy to share that we have some very special folks from my office here that are joining us. Kamaya Wingate and Connor McNulty, if they could stand, who are both students at Virginia Commonwealth University, as well as Amelia Stoner, who is working towards her master's degree at James Madison University. These fantastic students have been interning with us. They have been learning the ins and outs of the General Assembly, going to committee meetings, helping us with talking points, helping us with meetings and constituents, and really trying to get a feel for the work that the General Assembly does. And I want to thank them for all their hard work in my office. They have been an integral part of our success this session, and I hope everyone will join me in giving them a warm welcome of the Senate.
Hello, students, and we're so glad that you are doing the difficult work of studying, which takes, of course, patience and perseverance. all of which you're going to need as you move into adulthood. We're so glad to see you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Rouse, the junior senator from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. I yield the floor to the senator from Hampton.
The senator from Hampton, Senator Locke.
Madam President, I rise for 2 introductions.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Joining us in the gallery today are faculty and students and administrative assistant from Hampton University, Political Science, History, and International Relations Department. Joining us are Dr. Celeste Green and her administrative assistant and students. They're here at the Capitol to witness governing in action. They've been visited today and learned more about the Wilder School at VCU. They've met with legislators, and they are here to see us at work today. So if you would extend to them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Good afternoon, students. Thank you for coming. And indeed, we are entrusting our future to you as well. Well, you are our future, and so it is good that you see your institutions at work and how, of course, you can be innovative and how you can be a part of the process. Because this is, well, this is how we do life. Thank you for coming. And senators, Dr. Green, thank you as well. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Again, Senator Locke.
Also joining us today, Madam President, from Virginia Beach, is the family of the junior senator from Virginia Beach, his much better half, City Councilwoman Jennifer Rouse. And she is a professor of sociology and pursuing her doctoral degree in public policy. She's joined by her mother, Margie Valentine, who has anchored the family while Senator Rouse has been here trying to do some work. Jennifer and Aaron welcomed their baby girl, Olivia Elizabeth Rouse, who was born on December 5th. And as you can see, Olivia loves to eat and sleep. So please extend a warm welcome to the family of Senator Rouse.
Welcome, family. We're so glad to have you and baby Olivia. You know, we've heard it said that, how did you sleep tonight? Like a baby. Sleep 2 hours, get up and cry. Sleep 2 hours, get up and cry. Well, that's after you lose an election. That's what you do. But so glad again to see you. Thank you, family, and thank you for giving him to us so that he can serve. Senators, and you serve as well. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Saravel, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, for the purposes of the special and continuing order.
Forgot about that. Oh, here we go. Madam President, pursuant to Rule 14 of HJR 430, which is our scheduling resolution, I move the special and continuing joint order relating to judicial elections be suspended until Wednesday, February the 19th, 2025, at the conclusion of the morning hour.
The question is, pursuant to Rule 14 of House Joint Resolution 430, the scheduling resolution, shall the special and continuing joint order relating to judicial elections be suspended until Wednesday, February 19th, 2025, at the conclusion of the morning hour. All in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will call the roll. We'll close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The rules are suspended for the special and continuing joint order relating to judicial elections. Is there any other business to come for the morning hour? Hearing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
Senate calendar for Thursday, February 13th, 2005. Page 3, unfinished bills, House. House Bill 1729. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Madam President, I move that the Senate insist on its amendments and request a committee of conference.
The question is, shall the Senate insist on its substitute and respectfully request a committee of conference on the bill? All those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, no 0.
Ayes 39, no 0. The Senate insists on its substitute and requests a committee of conference on the bill.
House Bill 2077. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Again, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, I move that the Senate insist on its committee substitute and request a committee of conference.
The question is, shall the Senate insist on its substitute to House Bill 2077 and request a committee of conference on the bill? All those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The Senate respectfully insists on its substitute and requests a committee of conference on the bill.
House Bill 2303. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator Lucas.
Madam President, I move that the Senate insist on its committee amendments and request a committee of conference.
The question again is, shall the Senate insist on its substitute on House Bill 2303 and request a committee of conference on the bill? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, no 0.
Ayes 39, no 0. The Senate insists on its substitute and requests a committee of conference.
Unfinished business, Senate. Senate Bill 777 has passed the House with amendments.
Senator Locke, the senator from Hampton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we concur with the House amendments. And speaking to that,
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, these amendments are clarifying in nature. They're technical amendments that edit punctuation and conform some language, and it clarifies when the task force will complete its work, and that the plan shall be submitted as part of the task force's work on several lines. And with that explanation, I move that we concur with the House amendments.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 777? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The Senate concurs.
Senate Bill 787 has passed the House with amendments.
Senator McDougal, the senator from Hanover.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move the Senate accept the House amendments. And speaking to that,
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I believe the House got out grammar chat GPT and determined that there were 2 periods that they wanted to make commas.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the amendments proposed by the House of Delegates? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The Senate concurs with the amendments.
Senate Bill 818 passed the House with amendment.
Senator Favola, the senator from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate concur with the House amendment, and speaking to that motion.
Senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. What the House did is they added the option of an in-person delivery to a foster youth who would be eligible for some financial benefits from either the Social Security Administration or the Veterans Administration. Our original language just had notification by certified mail. They added in person, which is quite reasonable. So with that explanation, I do hope it is the will of the committee, of the Senate, to concur with the amendment.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the amendments? All in favor of concurring will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The Senate concurs with the amendments proposed by the House of Delegates.
Senate Bill 993 has passed the House with a substitute.
The senator from Norfolk, Senator Williams-Graves.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate concur with the House substitute, and speaking to that motion.
The senator may say on.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 993, the amendments add in a code section, and they also add in a voluntary compliance program for real estate brokers that allows for regulations and remote audits.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the substitute from the House on Senate Bill 993? Those in favor of concurring will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The Senate concurs with the substitute from the House.
Senate Bill 1228
The senator from
has passed the House with amendments.
From East Petersburg, Senator Aird.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, with the recommendation that the House amendments be rejected, I move the amendments be agreed to, and speaking to that motion.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, as a reminder, Senate Bill 1228 is related to student barbers and their licensure, and there was an amendment added during the conforming of my bill that was inaccurate, and so I'd like for us to not accept that amendment.
With the recommendation that it be rejected, the question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendments? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 40.
Ayes 0, noes 40. The amendments are rejected.
Senate Bill 1310 has passed the House with amendment.
Senator McPike, the senior senator from Prince William.
Thank you, Madam President. Move that we concur with the House amendments, and speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you. I think much like the senator from Hanover, we've now changed to in, so it's a technical change, and move its concurrence. Thank you.
The question is, shall the Senate concur? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The Senate concurs with the amendments proposed by the House of Delegates.
We are awaiting House action on the next category. Turning to page 9, uncontested calendar, House bills on third reading.
Senator McPike, the senior senator from Prince William.
Madam President, I move that all House bills on third read and uncontested calendar on page 9 through 11, House Bills 1628 through House Bills 2392 be advanced to the final passage until after the block and adopted and any amendments thereto, that any senator may desire to remove the bill from the block to do so after the block is read the number of the bill.
The question is, just to be clear, Shall House bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 9 through 11, House Bills 1628 through House Bill 2392, be placed upon their final passage in the block after the adoption of any amendments thereto, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bills. Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? It's a voice vote. Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion agrees to. The bills are before us in the block. The clerk will now read the number of the bills.
House Bill 1628 has reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. House Bill 1779, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. House Bill 1828, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. House Bill 1923, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute.
Senator Deeds, the senator from Charlottesville.
Madam Chair, Madam President, I move adoption of the committee substitute.
The question is, shall the substitute be adopted? Those in favor of that motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The substitute is adopted.
House Bill 2085, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. House Bill 2097, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. House Bill 2099, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. House Bill 2392, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor.
The question is, shall the House bills in the block pass? All in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bills in the block pass.
Regular calendar House bills on third reading. House Bill 2138, a bill relating to Commissioner of Highways pre-qualification program for self-bonding program, certain reports repealed. This reported from the Committee on Transportation, and we reconsidered the failure to pass.
Senator from Northern Fairfax County, Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. HB 2138, I move the bill pass, and speaking to the bill.
The senator may continue.
This is exactly like the senator from Northern Fairfax County's bill that removes the biennial report requirement for commissioners of highway regarding the use of funds in innovation and technology transportation funds. I move the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 18, noes 19, Rule 36-1.
Ayes 18, noes 19, Rule 36-1. The bill fails.
House Bill 1687.
Madam President,
For what purpose does the senator from Tazewell rise?
having voted on the prevailing side of the bill we just failed, could we reconsider that vote?
Madam President.
For what purpose does the senator, the Senate will please come to order. The senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Parliamentary inquiry.
The senator may state it.
This would require a unanimous vote, is that right?
The senator is correct.
Okay, can this go by temporarily so we can talk with the senator briefly about it?
Without objection, House Bill 2138 goes by temporarily.
Madam President.
For what purpose does the senator from Botetourt rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
The senator may state it.
What is the procedure if a vote is completed, but if someone's voting machine is simply non-responsive and it changes the vote, they were not able to vote?
Well, the senator has two options, sir. One option is to simply put in a yellow sheet, and the option is to have it reconsidered.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam President.
The senator. Madam Clerk.
House Bill 1687, a bill relating to city council voting districts, reported from the Committee on Local Government, and this was reconsidered. We reconsidered its failure to pass it.
Senator McPike, for what purpose does the junior senator from Virginia Beach rise?
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to speak to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. And members of the Virginia Senate, please lend me your attention. I move passage of the bill and speaking to that motion.
The senator may continue.
Please lend me your attention. I wish to discuss this matter on the Virginia Beach City Charter. It's with the utmost importance that I have your attention. I know we maintain a high level of civility in this chamber, specifically and particularly when it regards to members' districts and city charters. Last year, I carried the exact same legislation, and this body unanimously voted this legislation out 40-0. In the city of Virginia Beach, this is the same legislation that has united all parties, including independents, Republicans, Democrats, and a few libertarians. This is an important piece of legislation, one of the hallmarks and pillars of our democracy. Now, normally I would just give a few details and I would sit down and would take the vote, but I feel that this calls for a more in-depth look at why this city charter is before this body. In 2021, the U.S. District Court ruled in a federal court case, the Holloway versus City of Virginia Beach, that the city's local election system as provided under the charter violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 by diluting minority voting strength and ordered the implementation of a court-drawn 10-1 single-member district election system to remedy the violation. It is also important to note that the Supreme Court of the United States upheld Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. On January 14, 2022, the Virginia Attorney General's Office, the AG's office, issued a certificate of no objection. That's coming from the AG office. A certificate of no objection pre-clearing the use of the court-ordered 10-1 election system for the November 2022 elections under state law, and the 10-1 system was promptly implemented by state and local officials to allow for orderly qualifications of candidates prior to the June 21st, 2022 state law candidate filing deadline. Now, please stay with me. For these reasons, the November 8, 2022 local election was administered by state and local officials using the 10-1 system previously ordered by the U.S. District Court, and multiple council members were elected and took office on January 1st, 2023. Now, under Virginia Code Section 24.2-808, any attempt to contest the November 8, 2022 local election was required to be filed no later than 30 days after the election, which would have been December 8, 2022. But no lawsuits was filed by these or any plaintiffs contesting the system today or district used over the results of the November 22nd election, either before or within the required 30 days after the election. Now, here's probably the most important piece of information I'm going to give you right today. Understanding that there needed to be an affirmative city council action, including the adoption of a decennial redistricting ordinance to provide for city council elections in 2024 and beyond, hear me clearly, the City Council engaged the University of Virginia Weldon Cooper Center to obtain a citywide variety of citizens' input and to recommend one or more election systems that fully comply with the Voting Rights Act of 65 and state election laws, including the Virginia Voting Rights Act. The Cooper Center conducted statistically validated public opinion survey and determined that the 10-1 system used for the 2022 election was supported by 81% of city residents. Over 81% of Virginia Beach residents supports the 10-1 election center system. Over 81%. Now, there was a plus or minus 3% margin of error and a 95% confidence level. 95% confidence level. The city also received substantial information during that process, which caused City Council to conclude that the 10-1 system used in the 2022 election is the only legally viable system under both federal and state law. Hear me clearly. 10-1 system used in 2022 is the only legally viable system under both federal and state law. I want to say that one more time for my colleagues across the aisle. The 10-1 system is the only legally viable system under both federal and state law, including the Virginia Voting Rights Act. So seeking to reach a resolution on these issues, and as it was required by state law, on August 15, 2023, the City Council adopted a decennial redistricting measure by a 10-1 vote. That measure adopted a 10-district system with only the mayor serving at large and utilized the same district maps that the federal court had previously determined were fully compliant with the Federal Voting Rights Act and is believed to comply with the Virginia Voting Rights Act. So after the City Council adopted their redistricting measures, the city submitted the measure to the Virginia Attorney General's office for its pre-clearance review as required under Virginia Voting Rights Act. So on October 10th, 2023, the Virginia Attorney General's office issued a certification of no objection, noting that it had reviewed the system, and I quote, the system of elections and district maps, and quote, we find no reason to object to Virginia Beach proposed changes. Now, folks, this 10-1 election system has been pre-cleared twice by the Attorney General's office with no objection. Now, on November 17, 2023, the City Council adopted a 9-1 vote for a resolution requesting the charter be changed, and that request is manifested in the current legislation we have today. So, to wrap it all up, over 81% of Virginia Beach residents support the 10-1 system. It is the only legally viable system under federal and state law. On top of that, the Attorney General pre-cleared the election, this 10-1 election system twice with no objection. So I ask you once again, are here to the people of Virginia Beach who are asking for direct representation to who they elect on City Council. Mind you, this election system is the only viable and legal system that we have today. The city charter alignment is just that, to bring it in alignment with what the courts have ordered along with the decennial measures. So with that, I move passage of the bill. Thank you, Madam President.
The senior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator DeSteff.
Madam President, I rise to speak to the measure.
The senator may continue.
Madam President, I'm going to quote out of a memo from our Attorney General dated January 30th, 2025. And I can go into all the details of it and waste a lot of time, but basically the last paragraph states, in conclusion, nothing in the Federal Voting Rights Act or the Virginia Voting Rights Act require that Virginia Beach change its system to a 10-1 system for selecting members of its city council. Public servants instead should focus on engaging with the many diverse communities throughout Virginia Beach and the Commonwealth, recognizing and treating people based on their individual experiences in the touchstone that should guide our political debates. And Madam President, in the second paragraph here, they also talk about the city charter and the city charter providing for a 7-3-1. What that is, Madam President, is 7 district, 3 at large, and 1 mayor. So with that, until our city council becomes unanimous on this, I would suggest that we vote no on this matter. Thank you.
Again, the junior senator from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. Would the senior senator from Virginia Beach rise for a question?
Will the senior senator rise and yield for a question?
Happy to.
The senator yields. The junior senator from Virginia Beach has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. The letter that you've referenced in terms of the Attorney General wrote, was that an official document from the Attorney General's office, or was that just his personal own opinion?
The senior senator from Virginia Beach has the floor.
Madam President, I would suggest or request that this go by temporarily while I provide this document that clearly my friend from Virginia Beach has yet to see. So I'd like to take this by temporarily so I can ensure that he has this.
Without objection, House Bill 1687 goes by temporarily.
(1842), a bill relating to industrial development authorities, town of Front Royal.
Madam President.
Reported from the Committee on Local Government.
For what purpose does the junior senator from Virginia Beach rise?
Right, so can HB 1842 go by temporarily?
Without objection, House Bill 1842 goes by temporarily.
House Bill 2100, a bill relating to Medicare supplement policies, annual open enrollment period, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Senator Deeds, the senator from Charlottesville.
President, I move that the bill pass, and I'd like to speak to that.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. This bill is identical to Senate Bill 1199, which established a Medigap program for people with Medicare that can apply for a new lateral plan that's a parallel plan within 60 days of their birthday every year. We passed this, it was Senate Bill 1199, which we passed 34-6. I reiterate my motion that it pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 27, noes 10.
Ayes 27, noes 10. The bill passes.
House Bill 2266, a bill to direct the State Corporation Commission to establish a distribution cost sharing program for required distribution system upgrades, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute.
Again, Senator Deeds.
Madam President, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to. Senator Deeds.
Madam President, I move that the bill pass, and I'd like to speak to that.
Senator may say on.
With the substitute, this bill is identical to Senate Bill 1058 from the Senator from Alexandria that passed this body 21-18. The bill increases the size of participating projects to solar generating facilities with an AC nameplate capacity rating between 250 kilowatts and 3 megawatts, and requires the SCC to report on the implementation of the bill's provisions by November 1 of 2028. I reiterate my motion that it pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 20, noes 17.
Ayes 20, noes 17. The bill passes.
House Bill 2346, a bill to direct certain electric utilities to petition the State Corporation Commission for approval to conduct a virtual power plant pilot program. Reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with substitute.
Senator Deeds.
Madam President, I move the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Substitute is agreed to. Senator Deeds.
Madam President, I move that the bill pass.
The question
I'd
is,
like to speak to that.
I'm sorry, Senator.
I apologize. I'd like to speak to that if I may.
The senator has the floor.
Madam Chair, House Bill 2346 is now identical to Senate Bill 1100 from the delegate from Richmond, or the senator from Richmond City, which we passed 21 to 18. The bill allows Dominion or Appalachian to conduct a pilot program to evaluate the methods of a virtual power plant. The substitute clarifies that Dominion will not own electric school buses involved in the program, but may own the related storage batteries. I reiterate my motion that it pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
House Bill 2619, a bill relating to private companies providing public transportation services, employee protections. Reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute.
Again, Senator Deeds, the senator from Charlottesville.
Madam President, I move that the committee's substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to. Senator Deeds.
Madam President, I move the bill pass. I'd like to speak to that.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, this bill is now identical to Senate Bill 919 from one of the Fairfax senators, that Central Fairfax. Is that right? The senator from Central Fairfax that passed this body 21 to 19. The substitute requires a county, city, or transportation district that contracts with a private company to provide public transportation services and subsequently decides to provide its own transportation services to adopt an ordinance authorizing collective bargaining if it hasn't already, and to ensure that all employees of the private company are offered positions with the subsequent public transportation system, and ensures the recognition of existing lawful collective bargaining representatives. I reiterate my motion that it pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
Returning to page 12, returning to page 8. Nope.
12.
Page 12. House Bill 2138.
Senator Boysko, the senator from Northern Fairfax County.
Madam Chair, having described the bill earlier, I renew my motion that we pass the bill.
I thank the senator. Unfortunately, I was a bit hasty there. The motion was already on the floor to reconsider the bill, and I'm sorry. So, the question is, shall the vote by which House Bill 2138 failed be reconsidered? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The vote is reconsidered. Senator Boysko.
Madam President, I renew my motion. Having described the bill, move that it passes.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 20, noes 19.
Ayes 20, noes 19. The bill passes. No, no. The senator from Eastern and Rico, Senator Aird.
Madam President, regretfully, having voted on the prevailing side in which we passed House Bill 2138, I ask that we reconsider that vote.
The question is, shall the vote by which House Bill 20... It is an unwritten rule of mine to check who has voted on the prevailing side. I resume my language. The question is, shall the vote by which House Bill 2138 passed on this popular bill be reconsidered? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, no 0.
Ayes 39, no 0. The vote is reconsidered. Sorry, Senator Boyce, go.
Having described the bill, I move it pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? For what purpose does the senator from... Madam President, please strike the board. For what purpose does the senator from Roanoke rise?
Madam President, I have a parliamentary inquiry, and this is a true
The senator
question.
may continue.
Thank you. Are we able to have unlimited considerations as long as it's unanimous?
As many, sir, as the body decides it wants, needs, desires.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My understanding
And my
was the
voice
practice
continues.
was 3. I'm not that interested in this bill. I'm more interested in, the bill that comes 2 years from now when this might happen. But thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 19, noes 20.
Ayes 19, noes 20. The bill fails.
House Bill 1687.
Junior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator Rouse.
Madam President, having previously explained the bill, I move it pass. Move it pass in.
The question for the comment, Senator?
To note the senior senator from Virginia Beach had an answer to the question.
For what purpose does the senior senator from Virginia Beach rise?
Madam President, I'm happy to answer the question. The document I was referring to was, in fact, a letter from the Attorney General to the mayor explaining the law in which he goes into grave detail on the 10-1 system versus the 7-3-1 system, what's legal, what's not legal. He talks about the 7-3-1 system, not a 10-1 system, would be best to enhance the diversity of Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach, like the rest of the Commonwealth and the country, is comprised of diverse ethnic, racial, religious, and linguistic communities, each having a distinct heritage, experiences, traditions that shape the community. An approach that ignores the rich diversity across minority communities in Virginia Beach and the Commonwealth is a dangerous one. He cites Supreme Court cases, he goes into further explaining the details of how his interpretation of the law is on this, and says, in conclusion, nothing in the Federal Voting Rights Act or the Virginia Rights Act require that Virginia Beach change its system to a 10-1 system for selecting members of its city council. Public servants instead should focus on engaging with as many with the many diverse communities throughout Virginia Beach and the Commonwealth, recognizing and treating people based on their individual experiences and touchstone that would guide our political debates. And then he signs this as Jason S. Mieres, Attorney General of Virginia. The specific question was this an official Attorney General opinion? The answer is no, it is not. It did not quote the appropriate code section stating that. This was only a letter from the Attorney General to the mayor of the city of Virginia Beach explaining the law to him on the voting systems. And what I will say is his opinion as a citizen, not referencing the Attorney General Code, which provides for official opinions. And I'm happy to answer any further questions, Madam Chair, or Madam President.
Madam President, I just have further comments and then I move passage of the bill.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the Senate, what you have just heard was that was the Attorney General's preference. And it's not an official opinion of the Attorney General. That is a clear and distinct distinction between the two. I also would note that, again, this is what is happening in the city of Virginia Beach. Over 81% of the people voted and supported the 10-1 system. The Attorney General's office, in his official capacity, pre-cleared this election system twice with no objection. And now, all of a sudden, in an election year, he has posted his own personal opinion to the mayor. I ask that we pass this bill and do right by the people of Virginia Beach. Thank you.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill fails.
House Bill 1842.
Senator McPike, the senior senator from the senator from Shenandoah, Senator French.
I move the passage of the bill. Madam President, I move the passage of the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I move the passage of the bill.
Would the senator like to speak to the bill?
Yes. Yeah, not really, but I'm going to. I'm sorry, let me get my note. This body passed this resolution 5 years ago, and it's just resetting the sunset date for the town of Font Rural's IDA Development Authority.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 18, noes 22.
Madam President.
Ayes 18, noes 22. For what purpose does the senator from Rockingham rise?
Madam President, having voted on the prevailing side by which this bill failed, I move for reconsideration of the vote.
The question is, shall the vote by which House Bill 1842 failed be reconsidered? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The vote is reconsidered. Again, Senator French.
Yes, Madam President, once again, I rise to speak to the bill and move passage.
And having previously explained it, sir.
Previously explained.
Thank you, sir. The senator from Rockingham, Senator Obenshain.
Madam President, speaking to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I would hope that perhaps the outcome on this might be a little bit different than last time, but as they say in my part of the state, I was born at night, maybe not last night, and maybe it's not. We all know what's going on, and this is a bill that is really important for region I used to represent. This last bill, and I know that that the last bill was a regional bill. This is a regional bill. The last bill was one upon which I looked at the vote in the House and the vote in the Senate, and I'm hearing from House members on both sides of that issue. House members who thought it was a good idea, House members who thought it was a bad idea. My understanding is that there was a poll on that last bill in which a strong majority of the voters in Virginia Beach favored a referendum on the issue that was subject to this. This is a bill that deals with Front Royal and Warren County. There's not a single person who represents that area who, whether in the legislature or out of the legislature, who opposes that bill. This bill has real consequences. It has real consequences that deal with the ability of the Industrial Development Authority in that area to continue to borrow money, to be able to support economic development and industrial development opportunities in that part of the state. I heard somebody say, wasn't there a scandal involving the Industrial Development Authority in Front Royal and Warren County? And the answer to that is no. No. The scandal involved the Economic Development Authority, which was a different authority, and people went to prison for that, as they well should have. But this is a community that depends on their ability to borrow money, to engage in these activities. And, I guess that, we can punish the citizens of Warren County and town of Front Royal if we want to. But they don't have a dog in this fight. This is not a political fight. There was a political fight on that last bill. I know that people in Virginia Beach feel very strongly about it. People in Warren County are just trying to live. These are people who, a lot of them, work in Fairfax and Washington, D.C., and Alexandria and Arlington, but they can't afford to live there. I mean, these are police officers, these are nurses, these are clerical staff members who, can't afford the cost of housing in Northern Virginia and have been forced out to Warren County and Front Royal and areas out there. And, I guess, they get it on the chin again, and they are going to be punished yet again. And their Industrial Development Authority will have to dissolve, which is, as I understand it, the functional impact of this legislation that would have extended the sunset on it. So, if it's a desire to punish the people, I don't even represent them any longer. I did for 20 years. They're good folks, hardworking folks, and I would hope that they wouldn't be punished for a fight on the other side of the state, but if it's the desire of the majority to punish the people of Warren County and Front Royal, I suppose that will happen.
The junior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator Rouse.
Thank you, Madam President. Ron, speak to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Just prior to this, we brought a bill forward to you all where I expressed and shown to you all a study that was done by the Virginia Cooper Center, a study that had a 95% confidence level. That means if you was to redo the same survey 9 out of 10 times, it would yield the same result. But over 81% of the people of Virginia Beach supports that 10-1 system. The people of Virginia Beach were trying to, and are still trying to come from under the weight of cronyism, the weight of historic marginalization. You know, the weight of underutilizing city contracting with minorities throughout the city, the weight of being disenfranchised. I was only the first or second African American to win citywide in that city. Citywide, 460-some thousand. I was only the one of the few to be making on that city council. I was only the fourth African American at that time to serve. I brought to you, to this body, a bill that literally echoed and raised the voices of a community that has been living under the weight of cronyism for a very long time. And yet we saw the result of that bill. Madam President, I hope it is the aim and will of this body that we continue to serve our communities, but in a way that reaches across the aisle to yield the results that we need for the people of the communities that we serve. Because in this Commonwealth, we are all in it together. And it's my aim and my hope that the same things that are done in western part of our Commonwealth could be duplicated and also in the eastern part of our Commonwealth, in the southern part, and the northern part, that we have to work together. Thank you, Madam President.
Rise asked if the junior senator from Virginia Beach would yield for question.
Will the junior senator from Virginia Beach rise and yield?
I yield.
The senator yields. The senator from Rockingham has the floor.
Madam President, I respect the strength of the senator's beliefs with respect to the Virginia Beach bill. This is House Bill 1842, and I would respectfully ask my friend, the junior senator from Virginia Beach, if you would address this bill and explain why you were suggesting that people vote against this bill. I didn't hear that in your comments.
Well,
the junior senator from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. I will explain the why we have the votes on this side of the aisle, or why this bill was not successful, when the senator from Rockingham explains to the people of Virginia Beach and this body why they would ignore the will of 81% of the people of Virginia Beach. Thank you.
Madam President,
the senator from Rockingham.
I thank my friend, the junior senator from Virginia Beach, for making clear the object of his opposition. Thank you.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 19, noes 21.
Ayes 19, noes 21. The bill fails.
Uncontested calendar, House bills on second reading.
The senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Surville.
Madam President, I move that all the House bills on second reading on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 14 through 42, House bills 1579 through 2782, that the rules be suspended and the second constitutional reading of the titles be dispensed with.
Nice to have you back, Senator. The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the second reading of the titles of House bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 14 through 42, House Bill 1579 through House Bill 2782, be dispensed with? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senator Surville.
Madam President, I move that all the said bills be passed by for the day.
The question is, shall the House bills on the uncontested and regular calendars now on their third reading go by for the day? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills go by for the day.
Page 42. Memorial resolutions.
Again, Senator Saraville.
Madam President, I move the memorial resolutions on pages 42 through 45, HJR 568 through SR 254 be considered in a block in the usual manner, waiving the reading of the resolutions thereof, with the understanding that any senator desiring to move a resolution from the block shall do so after the clerk has read the title of the resolution.
The question is, shall the memorial resolutions on pages 42 through 45, House Joint Resolution 568 through Senate Resolution 254, be considered in the block in the usual manner, waiving the reading of the resolution thereof, with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the title of the resolution. All in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The resolutions are before us in the block. The clerk will read the titles of the memorial resolutions.
House Joint Resolution 568, celebrating the life of Louis Peter Kokonis. House Joint Resolution 570, celebrating the life of Russ Adams. House Joint Resolution 576, celebrating the life of Shannon Clay Scott. House Joint Resolution 582, celebrating the life of Paulina Yeager Campbell. House Joint Resolution 585, celebrating the life of Mark Spain. House Joint Resolution 592, celebrating the life of William M. McCarthy. House Joint Resolution 597, celebrating the life of Charles C. Pace. House Joint Resolution 606, celebrating the life of Danny Joe Dales, D.C. House Joint Resolution 609, celebrating the life of Robert Carl Gibbons. House Joint Resolution 612, celebrating the life of Lloyd W. French. House Joint Resolution 614, celebrating the life of Sterling Compton Boyles II. House Joint Resolution 615, celebrating the life of William H. Brown, Sr. Senate Joint Resolution 352, celebrating the life of George C. Brown. Senate Joint Resolution 354, celebrating the life of Danny Joe Dales, D.C. Senate Joint Resolution 355, celebrating the life of Frank Ernest Atwell, Jr. Senate Joint Resolution 356, celebrating the life of Jeremy Lathan Compton. Senate Joint Resolution 362, celebrating the life of Sergeant Floyd Hugo Miles, Jr. Senate Joint Resolution 364, celebrating the life of Robert McCabe Ryan. Senate Joint Resolution 365, celebrating the life of George W. Lester II. Senate Joint Resolution 368, celebrating the life of Grover C. Wilson, Jr. Senate Resolution 238, celebrating the life of Robert Clark Dovely. Senate Resolution 240, celebrating the life of Hunter Dakota Reedy. Senate Resolution 242, celebrating the life of Nellie Hayes. Senate Resolution 28, celebrating the life of Jane Barber White. Senate Resolution 249, celebrating the life of William Francis Siebert. Senate Resolution 251, celebrating the life of William Gerald Massengill. Senate Resolution 252, celebrating the life of Dr. Lucius Edwards, Jr. Senate Resolution 254, celebrating the life of Peggy Lynn Davis.
The resolutions will be agreed to in the usual manner. All those in favor of agreeing to the memorial resolutions, please rise. The resolutions are agreed to.
Commending resolutions.
Again, Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax.
Madam President, I move the commending resolutions on pages 45 through 53, HJR 561 through SR 263 be considered in the block by voice vote, waiving the reading of the resolutions with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the resolution.
The question is, shall the commending resolutions on pages 45 through 53, House Joint Resolution 561 through Senate Resolution 263, be considered in the block by voice vote, waiving the reading of the resolutions thereof, with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the resolution. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. The resolutions are before us in the block. The clerk will read the number of the resolutions.
House Joint Resolutions 561, 565, 566, 567, 569, 571, 572, 573, 574, 575, 578, 579, 580, 581, 583, 586, 587, 588, 589, 590, 591, 594, 595, 596, 598, 599, 601, 602, 603, 604, 605, 607, 608, 610, 611, 613, Senate Joint Resolution 349, 350, 351, 353, 357, 358, 359, 360, 361, 363, 366, 367, 369, 370, 371, 372, 373, 239, Senate Resolution 239, 241, 243, 244, 245, 246, 247, 250.
Senator Aird. Senator.
Yeah, 250. It's trying.
Senator Aird, the senator from Eastern Henrico.
Madam President, may I move that Senate Resolution 255 be moved out of the block and by, 250 be moved out of the block and by for the day?
Without objection, Senate Resolution 250 is out of the block and by for the day.
253, 255, 256, 257, 258, 259, 260, 261, 262, 263.
The question is, shall the resolutions be agreed to? That is, all resolutions except Senate Resolution 250, which is out of the block and by for the day. That is on page 52. All in favor of agreeing to the remaining resolutions will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The resolutions are agreed to. Senator Surville. Senator McDougal.
Madam President, could we be at recess or ease for 5 minutes for my Republican friends to go in the corner and have a conversation?
Without objection, the Senate stands at Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County. Calendar, sir. Calendar, sir. Calendar, sir. We are in the calendar.
Okay, inquiry of the clerk. Madam Clerk, have we completed today's calendar?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from Hampton, Senator Locke, for the purpose of presenting the committee nominations report.
Thank you, Madam President. I request that the committee nominations report on the Senate standing committees be taken up.
The clerk will please read the report.
2025 Senate Standing Committees. Local Government. Senator Pike, Chair. Stanley, Hackworth, Suderline, Sturtevant, Aird, Van Valkenburg, Rome, Williams-Graves, Durant, Diggs, Pekarsky, Sinivasan, Cyphers, and Boysko. On Transportation, Senator Bagby, Chair. Marsden, D-Stuff, Suderline, Boysko, Hashmi, Hackworth, Sturtevant, Aird, Rome, Diggs, Pekarsky, Mulcahy, Sinivasan, and Cyphers. Rules. Locke, Chair. Lucas, Deeds, Marsden, Favola, Eben, McPike, Surville, Hashmi, Rouse, Bagby, McDougall, Stewart, Peake, and Pillion.
Chair again recognizes the senator from Hampton, Senator Locke.
Madam President, I move that the committee nominations report be adopted.
The question is, shall the report be adopted? All in favor of the report being adopted will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 26, no 0.
Ayes 26, no 0. The committee nominations report is adopted. Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Madam President, I rise for an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Courts Committee, I would ask that you meet at my desk upon adjournment. We have two bills that we received, or that we didn't realize we'd received, that have fiscal impacts that we need to refer to Finance. One is an identical cognate, and the other one is a little new but pretty simple. If you want to look it up, it is, while we're waiting, House Bill 2435 is the one that's not a cognate. So meet at my desk upon adjournment really quick to refer these two to Finance. Thank you.
The clerk will report any announcements.
Today, Thursday, February 13th, 2025, the Committee for Courts of Justice will meet immediately upon adjournment at the chair's desk. The Committee on Education and Health will meet 15 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room A. The Committee on Transportation will meet 15 minutes after.
You just said yes. 1 hour.
Okay. There's a change on Transportation. Committee on Transportation will meet 1 hour after adjournment in Senate Room B. The Education and Health Subcommittee on Public Education will not meet. Tomorrow, Friday, February 14th, the Red Letter Day. The Committee on Rehabilitation and Social Services will meet at 8 a.m. Senate Room A. The Committee on Rules will meet at 9:30 a.m. in Senate Room C. The Democratic Caucus will meet 45 minutes before session in Senate Room 1. The Republican Caucus will meet 45 minutes before session in Senate Room 2. You have one, maybe 12 hours to shop.
The senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
I rise for an announcement.
Senator has the floor.
You may want to check your email if you still have any commending resolutions, because the deputy clerk sent us a helpful reminder that today's the last day for all joint SJR memorial and commending resolutions to be to DLS by 5 p.m. And we have another deadline on Monday for single house or SJR resolutions.
The senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Without objection, the question is, shall the Senate adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The Senate stands adjourned until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Chamber. Did you know that you can watch the Senate live on YouTube? Visit the channel by browsing to youtube.com/@Senate of Virginia. That's youtube.com/@Senate of Virginia.